Hey there, everyone. You're tuning into Profoundcast. We are the Destiel fandom podcast hosted by profoundbond.net, and I'm Crypto. Make sure you follow us over at Profoundcast on Tumblr and Twitter for updates. If you missed our pilot episode last month, you can find us on Google Play, iTunes, or Spotify. Spotify's being a little bit weird. You can find us via search, but you're not going to see us on your feed yet. Give it a couple more weeks. If you subscribe to our RSS feed, then you'll get alerted to every episode. And if you use iTunes, you just pop the link right in there and it makes it really easy. So today we're going to be talking about fandom tropes. What is a trope exactly? How is it different from cliché? Well, according to Fanlore, the Organization for Transformative Work's expansive fandom wiki, a fandom trope just refers to a common plot device, such as sex pollen, fake relationship, or coffee shops. TV Tropes goes further to define a trope as a device or convention that a writer can reasonably rely on as being present in the audience members' minds and expectations. They state that on the whole, tropes are not cliches. The word cliched implies dull and uninteresting, and we all know a well-done trope is anything but dull. So today I have fellow Profound Bond admin and fanfic writer NadiaHart here to talk all about tropes with me. So before we jump into the news, say hi, Nadia.
Hi, Nadia.
Okay, I kind of walked into that one. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick rundown of some news for you guys. It won't be quite as long as last time. So, in convention news, ChiCon started today and will be running through Saturday, so make sure you're following the ChiCon hashtag on Twitter. You can see the full con schedule over on Creation Events website. There's already been some fairly interesting shenanigans going on, I think. San Diego Comic-Con is arguably the biggest fan convention in the United States and is coming up on the 19th, running through the 22nd. Con season's kind of winding down, so there's not much there. As for events, fests, and challenges, July is also kind of a light month for that. We have Deancast Reverse Bang posting just wrapped up. The master post went up a couple days ago. You can find that on their Twitter at DeanCastReverse or on their Tumblr at deancastreversebang.tumblr.com. Deancast Minibang posting started July 1st and is ongoing through the beginning of August. Make sure you're tracking the DCMB18 tag on Tumblr. Sign-ups are going on right now for the Destiel Smut Bingo, which is a brand new bingo. They're offering 3 card sizes, a mini, standard, and mega, and sign-ups run through August 9th. Check this fun and smutty low-key bingo out on destielsmutbingo.tumblr.com. Have a draft you need to get going? You can join in on the Deancast Writing Month on Twitter at DCWrimo. That's DCWRIMO. Join sprints and track your progress with other fandom writers. You can use the DCWrimo hashtag as well. Artist signups for Deancast Big Bang are open until August 3rd. Claims for DCBB will open for registered artists at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on August 10th. So make sure that you get signed up so you get first crack at those. Signups for things that go bump in the night are open for writers until August 4th and until October 7th for artists. Signups are open for the Deancast Historical Revelry Challenge until September 1st. DCHR is a writer-only event. Deancast Mixtape is an event designed to celebrate the music which inspires, accompanies, or reminds us of Dean and Cass and their relationship. The fest uses songs as prompts, and all creations are to include the song prompt in some way. Some amazing songs have been prompted, and claims are now open. For more information, please head to deancastmixtape.tumblr.com. And that is one of the Profound Bond Discord server's events. All right, so let's talk tropes.
Tropes.
I
just have to throw out there that as a native New Yorker, the NYCC, the New York Comic Con, is coming for you, San Diego. It's coming for you.
You know, and as a Seattleite, I mean, Emerald City Comic Con is nothing to sneeze at.
True.
Just saying.
So I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Of course. It was fairly easy. You have a very sultry voice, so, I couldn't resist.
Thank you.
So tropes. I don't know what I did to qualify to talk about this topic, but I came prepared.
Well, you write some deliciously tropey fics, so.
Ooh! Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't realize I was doing that until I realized I was doing it. I know. I'm a poet.
Tropes are pervasive. They exist in everything. I mean, a lot of people conflate trope and cliche, kind of like I was saying in the intro. Or, well, they weren't really my own words, but...
So I feel like that's a big like they use those words interchangeable, tropes and cliches, but a cliche is like overdone. Like it's you're done with it. Nobody cares about it anymore. And I feel like in the trope sort of genre of troping, which is now a word officially, they move on so quickly. So like when we were talking about this topic, we were discussing tropes that were popular and are still produced, but are no longer as popular as they were at one point.
Well, like back in the very beginning of like Destiel, like back on LiveJournal, wingfic was like the biggest thing, period.
Yeah, and we were discussing how apocalypse fics were super huge, but then the show did so many apocalypse that it was just like, what else are we going to talk about now? Like, do we keep talking about apocalypses, or has the show done 4 already, and what else are we interested in? So I feel like that's what keeps a trope so fresh and fun, is that before it gets played out, something else comes in and it becomes very popular.
Yeah, and as far as like apocafic goes, Supernatural has 13 seasons of apocafic.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it has like the whole verse thing. Like, we have an entire verse that is canon being end verse that is literally just apocalypse.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's another reason why alternate universes are so popular as well as sort of a trope. And like we have so many because the show gives us these alternate universes, or which I will probably refer to as here on out as AUs, because they give them to us, N-verse, Terrible Life verse, all of those. I mean, there's more.
I want to like yell out reverse verse, but that one's
reverse
not
verse.
canon.
It's
I'm
not
like,
canon.
reverse verse, but it's not canon. Oh, or wait. It almost is.
It almost is because, when Cass started falling, he wanted to be a hunter. But,
yeah.
I mean, spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Not really.
Not really. And I mean, if we're going to talk about, okay, so what do you think are like your top big, like Supernatural or Destiel only, like tropes? When you think of like supernatural tropes, what do you think of?
Okay, so before we get into this, I'm just going to put this out there that I know that there are a lot of people who are going to be like, oh, Alpha, Beta, Omega verse or Omega verse. And there are a lot of people who are going to be interested in, the BDSM verse. But we're previously discussed that we're not going to talk about those extensively because they are going to be the focus on future episodes, how those two tropes and alternate universes convey to the Destiel and the Dean Cass Supernatural fandom. So, with that in mind, I have to say I think I really like the voice fetishization, fetishizing their voices. Their really gravelly voice, Cass's super deep gravelly voice and Dean's Batman voice. That has to be one of my top ones. I mean, I could talk about it all day.
Like Dean's Batman voice, how like he just kind of had like Jensen voice, and then like Misha gets on the show and it's fucking hilarious how like all of a sudden mid-season 4 Dean suddenly has a deeper voice.
Yeah, and it affects everybody. Like I have a theory about facial hair. So if you watch the first couple of seasons, they really don't have any. Nobody does. Misha doesn't, Jensen doesn't, Jared doesn't, and then like season 5, season 6-ish, all of a sudden, facial hair. And then Crowley's got facial hair. And Kane's got facial hair. And every dude on the show has scruff. But it's not like just facial hair. It's not like a beard. Like they all have the exact same facial hair. It's like, oh, if one of them's doing it, they all have to do it. It's not like Sam's like, I'm still gonna shave. No, they all have facial hair.
It's true. And which honestly is... beardy dudes is a trope. I mean...
Yep, totally.
See, even the actual, like, cast and writers are susceptible.
I completely agree.
But back to, like, voices. I think one of the biggest tropes, for sure, in our fandom is voice fetishization? Fetishizing? Getting horny for, like, Cass's fucking voice. Because Cass, like, every fic that you read, he rumbles, he growls, like... It's never Cass says.
Yep, absolutely. He's always growling. He's always rumbling. He's always grunting. especially in the morning when he hasn't had his coffee.
When he hasn't had any coffee. And that's another trope. Like, a huge one is that if in a human AU or in Fallen cast, Hunter cast, boy does not get out of bed until, like, 10 a.m. at the earliest, and he needs to, like, drink 3 pots of coffee, like, straight from the pot.
Absolutely. Boiling hot, and everyone just stares at him like, how are you doing that? It doesn't matter. He's got to have it.
He hasn't even opened his eyes yet.
He's like one of those people that has the cup with the lines on it that's like, don't talk to me, don't even think about it, okay, maybe, now you can speak.
Exactly. And, like, what ties into that is, like, super peppy morning person Dean.
Yes!
And he's just ready to go. It's so funny because in the show, Sam is the one that's like that. He's up, he goes for a run, he eats his fucking salad. Does he eat salads for breakfast? He probably does. But Dean is, like, not that in the show. But in fic, Dean is always up. He's made, like, a giant plate of bacon, made coffee. He's, like, cleaned half of the apartment or bunker or whatever. And then Cass comes, like, rolling out.
So I love that because I think that a lot of that has to do with Dean sort of picking on Cass, too, a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I know this guy hates mornings, so I'm going to be up in the kitchen making a noise. And then when he comes in, I'm going to be this chipper fucking bastard and just be like, ha ha ha, you need some coffee? I made a pot. Fall in love with me, please. I don't know how to deal with my emotions.
It's so true. That's so true.
So, that's my view on that. But, yeah. I have definitely fallen into that trope of describing their voices as like rolling thunder or like echoey sort of waves crashing against the shore. Like those stupid, really romanticized, very rose-tinted ways of describing their voices.
Yeah, but it's such a good way to describe it too. Because,
totally.
Okay, so Cass's voice, in canon, his voice is a straight shot to, like, the groin.
Oh, yeah.
He has, like, the fucking hottest voice ever. And then Dean, he's got, like, that drawl. Especially when he's being sassy. He starts to get the little southern lilt, and it's, yes.
You love it, I love it, Cass loves it, everybody loves it. Speaking of everybody loves it, everybody ships it.
Everybody, but most especially Sam, right?
Sam totally ships it. Mostly, I think, because Sam ships it because the moment it's actually out in the open, he doesn't have to deal with it anymore. There'll be no sneaking around. There'll be no heart eyes. Massive, massive heart eyes. Like, it'll just be in his face for, like, a couple of weeks, and then there'll be a normal relationship. There'll never be a normal relationship.
Yeah, but, like, they'll get it out of their system, and then, like, they won't have to stare at each other constantly.
Right. I mean, we'll stare at them, but they don't have to stare at each other. That will be our job.
Right. So, on, like, a slightly less hilarious note, I think a lot of why Sam ships it is such a big trope in this fandom is because we, like, Destiel shippers, understand that Sam is fully essential. And that if Sam does not approve, it wouldn't happen. And so we are, like, such big backers of the Sam ships it trope because we need Sam's approval there.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I couldn't have said it better myself.
What about, like, the Impala ships it?
Okay, so I love this, and I was just talking on Profound Bond the other day, which may have been weeks ago, but time blurs, about someone was maybe writing a scene where the Impala ships it, and the Impala is sentient, and it's like every time Sam tries to sit in the front seat, the glove box hits him in the knees until he finally, like, gives up, and the Impala locks him in the back seat and only lets Cass sit in the front seat because the Impala's like, guys, get it together. And, like, it only plays love songs when Cass and Dean are alone in the car.
And I'm going to have to track it down because this was wrecked on Profound Bond. And I know I can find it. I'll find it and I'll post it for you guys. But the other day I read a fic, and, like, this could have been weeks ago too, but where, like, the bunker actually literally locked them in a room together. Like, the bunker was just done. And so, like, sentient bunker, like, Dean goes into Cass's room for something and the door just slams and, like, either disappears or, like, will not open.
So, like, I feel like that is part of a bigger trope spectrum, and I'm